Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am going to take you through my simple shoulder routine. And while I'm doing the exercises, I'm gonna have my trainer explain them to you. Come on.
So the first thing that we're gonna do when we have the absolute most energy and the most amount of strength is gonna be in the beginning of the workout. So we're gonna start with a shoulder press. So what I have her do is with the dumbbells instead of the barbell, because they're lighter, you can pick a more comfortable weight and you can get your elbows in a more comfortable position, because some people's elbows or shoulders might have issues. So being with a fixed barbell, you're held to one plane of motion versus this, you could pick and choose where you want your elbow path to be. So go and pick them up, and then what you want, turn to the side here. You want your shoulders to be pinned back as far as you can, and you want to squeeze this together so you get proper posture, and then go ahead and turn back to the side, to the front. Now, it doesn't have to be that way. You could bring your elbows farther forward if you can't go that far back, but if you want to fix posture and you want to develop your shoulders, the whole entire chain of the movement, this is how you're going to want to do it. So you're going to want to press all the way up. You're going to hold for a second at the top, and you're going to come down slowly, slow, all the way down to the most stretched position of the movement. You're going to hold this for about 2 seconds, and you're going to press. The reason why we're wanting to hold at the bottom is because this is going to stretch the front deltoid right here, and it's going to put the most amount of stress on here. And you want a elongated stretch under load, and this is going to help develop the front of the shoulder, what we're actually really targeting, but this is also going to help develop the traps, and it's going to help develop the whole entire shoulder. And if you pinch the shoulder blades back, like I was saying earlier, what's going to happen is you're going to start feeling this in your rear delts and in your trapeze area. That's not that this is a rear delt trapeze workout, but if those areas are weak and lagging behind and your front delts are overpowering, then you're going to feel it in the weaker areas. This is going to help develop a whole shoulder as one movement, and it's going to actually help fix impingement as well too. We're going to do 4 sets of this for 8 to 12 reps. Go ahead and rack it. Now that we're done with shoulder press, we're moving on to our second movement, which is going to be a side lateral. The side lateral is going to hit the side lateral head of the shoulder. The shoulder press hits the front delt and some trapeze, and depends on where you put your shoulders and your development, it can hit the whole entire shoulder, but the main purpose is for the front shoulder. This is going to hit the side shoulder. This is going to give you that nice rounded over look. Now ladies, don't be scared of having round shoulders. Round shoulders are pretty shoulders. It doesn't mean they're going to be big bulky like football pads, but it's going to look nice in a shirt. It's going to look nice in a bikini or anything else you're wearing. Now, whenever you do this right here, there's a couple different ways to do it. You can bring your arms straight out to the side, right? And this is fine too. You could bring your arms a little bit farther forward, and you could bend your elbow some. There's multiple ways to do this, but the most important thing to do is to put your arms down. The most important thing to do is to get a plane of motion, that you feel it in the side delt, and that it doesn't hurt your joint, because you might come in here one day and feel joint pain. And the next day you could come in here and you don't feel joint pain. As long as you're feeling it in the medial head right here, right in the middle of the shoulder, you're good. Go ahead and grab your dumbbells. And we're going to perform this for 4 sets of 8 to 12 reps. Go ahead. We're going to hold at the top for about a second or two, and then we're going to come down, because there isn't a way to get a good deep stretch on the shoulder for this movement. But what we can do is we can get a good hard contraction at the top for about 2 to 3 seconds, which is going to increase the burn dramatically. And the whole thing is you don't need heavy dumbbells to do this. If you go too heavy, you're going to end up not being able to perform the movement correctly. Don't be afraid to pick the light dumbbells, but also if you're strong enough, don't be afraid to pick the heavier dumbbells. But you want to keep the weight under control and use a nice, slow movement. And this will help develop those shoulders. Now that we worked out the front of the shoulder and the side of the shoulder, we're moving on to the rear shoulder, the rear deltoid. So what we're going to do for this, I'm going to show you 2 movements that you can do, one at the house with a simple set of dumbbells, and another one if you're going to your local gym. But this right here is going to be the bent over lateral raise. There's a couple different ways you could do this movement, but the main thing is being able to pull the shoulders up and back and squeeze that rear delt and feeling the rear delt. A lot of people talk about elbow positioning, but I'm a strong believer that you need to put your elbows in a spot that you feel it in your rear delt and it does not cause shoulder pain. That's the most important part. So go ahead and grab your dumbbells and go ahead and start performing. And if you notice, she pulls her elbows up and high, and she's squeezing her rear delts as hard as she can, and she's holding it for a good second or two before she lets the weight come back down. Do not pick a weight that's too heavy, because if you do, you're not going to be able to perform them correctly, and it's going to cause you to start cheating your form. So those are her 3 basic movements that she does, and you can perform them in your house with a simple set of dumbbells or in a commercial gym or wherever you want. Those are the 3 staples to any good shoulder program or any basic or advanced program that's going to help develop your shoulders. The only thing you have to do is make sure that you're always pushing to get a little bit more reps, an extra set or 2, or more weight every single workout. It's called progressive overload. And by doing that, you're going to continuously develop with those 3 movements for a very, very long time. Now, if you can't bend over, and you have a hurt lower back or you have hip issues, this is called a pec deck. And you can do reverse pec deck, which is another way to work out the rear shoulder. So go ahead and have a seat on this. You're gonna face the machine and you're gonna grab the handles. Most box gyms will have this piece of equipment, and it's gonna be just like the dumbbell lateral raises, but the difference is, go ahead, you're sitting down. It's the same exact motion. You can keep your arms straight, you can bend them, you can grab the handles high, low, in the middle with a reverse grip. There's a bunch of different ways to do it, but the most important thing you do is find an angle and position that does not hurt the shoulder and that you feel it in the rear delt. So that way you get all of your work loaded here. You might feel it in your traps a little bit, but that might be because they're underdeveloped. But if you continuously feel it in your traps, that means you're pulling with your traps and you're not pulling with your shoulders. So you need to make sure you're pulling it with the shoulders. This will be performed instead of the seated lateral raise for 4 sets of 8 to 12. And you notice she holds and contracts the top as well. Now that she's worked out her whole entire shoulder, we're going to move on to the traps. The traps run from the base of the skull down, out to the shoulders, back, and down. These are very important for stabilizing the head and the neck movement. Whenever you're looking down at your phone a lot, or if you're working on a computer and you're shrugged up, a lot of times people suffer from headaches, and that's because these muscles are weak and they can't handle being shrugged like that all day long, and you build a lot of tension in them. So doing a workout for your traps to help strengthen them up can help reduce headaches and also just help support your neck in general. So for her traps, we're not going to do shrugs, we're going to do face pulls. So she's going to grab the rope, and then she's going to keep her elbows high and tight, and she's going to pull the cable to her forehead is where she's going to be aiming, and that's going to put all the load right onto her traps. Now, she's not pulling with her shoulders, she's pulling with her traps and squeezing with her neck muscles.
And a big thank you to my husband, who's also a trainer, that helped me out with this video and helped kind of educate a little bit. And I hope you take something from this video, and maybe it'll help you with your shoulders as well.